वीगन्स को सेक्स के बाद चिकन अलाउड है क्या?
So, Pratik and Vidya ma'am, it's so good to see you both on filmeshilmy.com. It's always so
Thank
wonderful
you.
to have you all on the platform. And congratulations on Do Aur Do Pyaar.
Thank you.
Right, so this film is an official adaptation of the 2017 American film, The Lovers. And obviously, it seems to really talk about a dysfunctional couple and sort of them trying to navigate their way through life and, through perhaps a very sort of sketchy concept of infidelity. So I think for you as actors, when you do have a bit of a ethically challenged sort of a concept, though with the light-hearted medium, how do you navigate that as artists?
I didn't look at it like that. I feel that relationships are anyway, especially romantic ones, are anyway confusing and surprising and bewildering. So this presented the most apt opportunity for us to make a romantic comedy out of it. Of course, it's very different from the original film, Lovers. The idea is the same, but I think we've adopted a lighter romantic comedy approach, whereas that wasn't the case in the original film. And I think I didn't, the ethical question didn't pop into my mind at all. Maybe I don't judge people who are in this situation. I just feel that to each his own. So maybe that's why I was like, yeah, okay. But I have wondered how, someone stuck in this sort of situation would navigate their way out of it. So I was like, okay, I don't know any couple who's going through it. Thankfully, I'm not in it. So at least the film will tell me how someone gets through this.
Yeah. And what she says is correct, that we as actors, we are not supposed to judge the character.
Yeah.
If I judge it, I'll color it already.
Yeah.
And I'll not, leave any space for you to understand and judge. So our job is to be honest to the script and story and create a character for you to judge and take your own judgment.
And I'm really glad, this question in a way has arisen, because I feel like what really binds you both as artists is like, Vidya, whether you've done a dirty picture or Pratik, you're doing a scam, 1992. I feel like, again, the characters that you both played, right? They were critiqued a lot. I mean, there was lots of judgments about that characters as well. So do you kind of feel, because you've in a way navigated such roles in an artistic manner before, do you think that's also to an extent really had a bit of an impact on you, how to really suspend judgments from the artistic portrayal of an otherwise contested character, Vidya?
I think that, your mind opens up to possibilities when you become an actor and you play various characters, right? Because you develop empathy for any character that you play, because in the absence of that, you can't really play a character convincingly. So I think however flawed they are and however you might judge them, we can't do the same as actors. So I think being an actor has anyway made me look at every person's story first before drawing any inferences about them.
Yeah. It actually helps us a lot, and sympathize and empathize with different emotions and different people and different characters. And I strongly feel that our actors, amongst all the artists, are the only people who are blessed to live multiple lives in one life. Nobody else can do that.
So true. Yeah, that is amazing. And I think that's the beautiful thing about when you are doing, acting. And it's always so mesmerizing to really get an insight into that.
Right.
I think when it comes to sort of rom-coms, I think, Vidya ma'am, it's been a long time since we've seen you do a romantic comedy of this nature. I mean, I would like to say, Tumhari Sulu wasn't necessarily like a rom-com. It was more like a social drama.
I think the last was Shaadi Ke Side Effects.
Exactly. And that also a decade ago, which is crazy.
Yes, exactly.
it's insane how literally after 10 years you're sort of revisiting this. I mean, I know, Pratik, you've definitely had your share of doing sort of comedies in the Gujarati space. I mean, recently you did so exceptionally in Madgaon Express. I mean, it was wonderful to see you in that. So I guess when it comes to doing comedy, I mean, it's the hardest sort of genre to pull, but yet also I feel like it doesn't get that respect it rightfully deserves. Uh, how have you, as artists, managed to sort of polish up the comedic trait within a way which is not going overboard, because it sort of decorum की बहुत जरूरी होता है जब आप comedy भी करते हो.
Yeah. So see, how I feel about comedy is that less is more. An actor should know when to stop in comedy, especially in comedy, that this is it. And whenever you are performing a comedy script, you're performing in the comedy situation, you are delivering comedy lines, you don't have to play the humor. It is for the audience to understand and laugh. But as a character, I'm in that situation, and that situation should create humor, not me as an actor. So that actually gives you the sense of honesty that you have to bring with the character in that scene and in the story. It is this simple thing that helps comedy to take to another level and to actually give a lot of respect to comedy. It is a serious business. It needs a lot of deliberation. It needs a lot of care.
Yeah, I think, you can't play funny to be funny.
Yeah.
You have to play it real. You have to play it real to the context, to the situation, to the characters, and it will end up becoming funny. But if you are going to find it funny and then it won't work.
Yeah, that largely it never works.
Right. I don't have that much experience in comedy, but from my little experience, this is what I feel. He's, of course, Bob.
Right. And I think also I'm very fascinated when actors sort of present dysfunctionality, and I think there's a certain art in presenting that, because obviously when we look at dysfunction in real life, it's often caused with a lot of pain, with uh, a lot of high octane emotions, which I think the trailer of Do Aur Do Pyaar kind of touches on as well. I'm sure the film will do so as well. I think for you as actors, again, when you are sort of working together, because it's obviously, I think, believe your first time you guys are working together as well, but to create that synergy where it is dysfunctional, do you kind of think the fact that you're actually meeting for the first time, that whole stranger experience, gives that sense of comfort for you as actors to kind of explore that sort of angle as well of dysfunctionality?
Yeah, I think there are many factors at play here. Of course, the fact that we don't know each other well helps. But I think it has to be inherent in the script and the way the characters have been written. And the way the director structures the scene is also very important to underline the dysfunctionality. But also, you're playing out intimate moments. And I don't mean just physically intimate moments, but even emotionally intimate moments in front of a whole lot of people. Anyway, where even when you're friends, you're playing two different people, right? And you're playing two different people in vulnerable moments in front of spectators. All of that adds to, I think all of that helps. And I love dysfunctionality, because I believe that all of us are dysfunctional to a certain extent, and all our relationships are too.
And I think you both have actually played that very well. I mean, even Pratik, if you look at some of your Gujarati roles, I mean, you know how much I love Wrong Side Raju. I think even then as well, when you sort of play that character, there was a lot of dysfunctionality then. I mean, Vidya ma'am, I mean, where do I even start with your sort of filmography? I mean, there's been so many instances where you've had that as well. So, Pratik, again, how do you feel like you've kind of evolved as an artist in terms of portraying that dysfunctionality, and perhaps with this example of Do Aur Do Pyaar as well?
I think I have with the experience of life, you understand humans even deeper. Emotions in different ways, emotions in different spectrum. And the more you understand it, the more you realize that this is human. To be dysfunctional is human. To be dysfunctional is real. So and if you approach any character in the most honest possible way, you will find dysfunctionality, which is intrinsic to it. I mean, you don't have to go and search for it. So the moment you start performing, make this character alive, it's there. And most of the time it is written also that way. The most righteous characters that you portray are also dysfunctional.
Yeah, very true. And I think if we look at the landscape of Hindi cinema in particular, I think it's really wonderful to see the rom-com genre finally sort of gaining speed again. Obviously, last year we had Rocky Aur Rani. There was also Tu Jhooti Main Makar. Recently, we had Teri Baaton Mein Aisa Ulja Jiya, which have performed terrifically at the box office. Even in the South, there was a film like Premalu, which did really well.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
so when we look at the romantic comedy genre finally, getting a success again, do you think that perhaps audiences are exhausted by, these serious, intense, socially driven content? And do you think this is kind of giving them that sense of hope again as well? Vidya ma'am.
I don't know if the audiences are. I definitely am. Which is why all the films that you mentioned are films that I've enjoyed in the past couple of years. I haven't necessarily pegged them as romantic comedies, but you're right.
Yeah.
I guess they were romantic comedies. And I've enjoyed them because I think there's too much intensity and darkness and violence for no reason today in cinema, even action. I want to be moved. I want to laugh. I want to make others laugh. I want to just have a good time when I go in to watch a film.
Right.
And I think audience also needs that little break from a constant adrenaline rush to feel different emotion now. Calm down. Have a little smile on your face. Feel love.
I mean, of course, Pratik, you've broken in terms of the Hindi landscape. You've definitely broken into it, and you're sort of doing some amazing projects as well recently, and it's great to see that. I think for you, Vidya ma'am, though, I think it was very quite fascinating to explore the recent roles you did. Like they were quite serious, intense stuff. I mean, Jalsa, Sherni, they were definitely very intense. Do you kind of feel, and maybe Pratik, this might even apply to you to an extent as well. I mean, please do jump in as well after. But do you find, Vidya ma'am, that there was perhaps a need for you to break free by doing, a Do Aur Do Pyaar, or even like doing like a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3, for example? Do you think that there's been a need for you to just break free from all the intense stuff? And has that...
Absolutely. I've been yearning that, Anuj. But I have to tell you that I liked the idea of Do Aur Do Pyaar way back in 2018.
True.
So I'm just glad, I think it was 18 or 19, and it's taken, it took some time to put it together and everything, but finally here we are. And I'm so glad because I've been yearning, both as an audience and as an actor, I've been yearning lightness and joy. I'd actually stopped consuming any content on OTT since September because it was exhausting to me. And therefore, I'm so happy, like I loved Rocky Aur Rani last year. I've just enjoyed Crew this year.
Oh yeah, Crew. Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm waiting to see Madgaon. And I can't wait for everyone to see Do Aur Do Pyaar. I think this is the need of the hour, really.
Right. What about for you, Pratik? Because obviously, even in Gujarati cinema, like, see, now it's changing, right? Like, now we're seeing a Rado, now we're seeing films which are even Vash, for example. Like, Krishna Dev Yagnik has been such a big trailblazer. Abhishek Jain have been such big trailblazers in changing the landscape. So, for you, was there also a moment in your life as an artist where you just wanted to break free from a pre-notioned image that was created through the roles that you were doing?
Yes, yeah, of course. In fact, I always work towards that I don't want to keep myself limited to one particular genre, one particular type of performances and characters and roles. I want to explore all different genres and all different subgenres of particular genre. Like if I talk about comedy, so there are a lot of things, like dark humor or situational humor, even slapstick humor, physical humor. I want to explore even subgenres. And romantic comedy and romantic films, I guess that we have been watching from last 1,000 years, and we will watch for next 5,000 years. I guess this is one genre that everybody loves. An audience is always ready for it.
Right, absolutely. Vidya ma'am, I've got to ask you this question, okay? Because honestly, the fans have requested me. Because obviously you were doing a very popular character soon, which obviously you did back in 2007, which everyone loved,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
when again, we're talking about darkness and humor and finding that middle ground, when you are playing something as heavy as a Manjulika, what helps you as an artist to kind of disassociate from that? Quite literally, I mean, that's exactly what the character is all about. But how do you kind of break free from that, but yet also revisit something, that you kind of did many, many years ago?
I'm not trying to recreate anything that I've done in the past, even though it's the same universe, because it's a different time, it's a different me, and it's a different director. Everything about the film is different, you know. So the whole may be the same, but the parts have changed. So I think it'll be a very fresh approach. And how do I think,
Disassociate from something dark as that, yeah.
yeah, I don't think Bhool Bhulaiyaa is dark in that sense. I don't see it as dark. It is more like what is that? It's a horror comedy. So, yeah. And more on that when we talk about that in a few months.
Oh my God, I can't wait. But please don't give me nightmares again. Like 11-year-old me was traumatized by that.
Oh my God. It was scary. It was scary.
Was so terrifying. But again, Pratik as well, I mean, when we talk about future projects as well for you, I mean, there's some really great lineup you have. I think Hansal sir just revealed the Kasturba Gandhi look recently as well. I mean, again, there's so many versatile roles that you're coming in. So again, has versatility been a very conscious decision for you in terms of the projects that you're picking in Hindi? And how tricky is it actually to not fall for a trap and do something that as monotonous and repetitive?
Frankly speaking, Anuj, that's not tricky. That's not difficult. Doing that is easy. Not doing that is difficult. Because every actor wants to be seen in different characters, in different genres. The moment fear seeps in, you try to limit yourself with the pretext that audience only wants to see me doing this. But it's not audience, it's your own fear that stops you, I feel. So I think I want to keep it simple, and I want to keep trying different genres, different characters, and different kind of story.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Well, look, fortunately, we've run out of time, but it's been such a pleasure to have these absolutely two terrific artists on filmeshilmy.com. And we've been very lucky to have interviewed them quite a few times throughout our sort of tenure. So thank you so much, Vidya ma'am and
Thank
Pratik
you.
sir, and wishing
Thank
you
you,
all the
Anuj.
very best for Do Aur Do Pyaar, which is releasing on the 19th of April.
Thank you.
Thank
Waiting for your
you.
reviews.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely let you know how I feel for sure. Okay,
Great.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.